Oh, hi. How you doing? I know, new swag. Not to brag, but it's pretty sweet. Thank you to unRaid for sending me a new shirt that I can make some sweet, sweet videos with. And out of courtesy from them, I will link to their merch store in the description down below. So again, thank you, unRaid, for sending me a shirt. Plex is awesome and everything, but if you really want to squeeze the most features out of your Plex media server, you can get a Plex Pass. Now, while there are many benefits to having a Plex Pass versus a free user account, my favorite one is getting early access to new features that Plex has not yet released to the general public. So if you're like me and you want to try out those new features, check out the description down below. Down there, you can either purchase a Plex Pass for yourself or a friend, and hey, if you don't have a free account, use my link as well. It helps me out. So check out the description down below to get your Plex Pass today. What's up YouTube, Jason here with Byte My Bits. Welcome to Jason Bytes Back, episode number 24. I feel like I'm forgetting something, just something that someone kept reminding me about something. I don't know, maybe I'll remember it later. But as the intro suggested, I got a new shirt. See, this is what happens when you spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on computer hardware and then cheap out and don't want to buy yourself a shirt. And then you cry about it on YouTube and they send you a shirt. But hey, I can't wait to rock this in videos, so this is awesome. Again, thank you. I will link to this down below. There's actually, I got a beer glass too, which is very similar to the Plex beer glass I got back there. That hasn't come in yet. It's supposed to be here on Wednesday, which now that I think about it, Wednesday is gonna be the day that this is released. So for me, it's not Wednesday, but for you, I might already have it. God, there's something, it's right there, just, yeah, I was just thinking of that and I can't remember. I hate it when that happens. So here's my official announcement. If you don't already follow me on Twitter, you probably don't know this, but I am officially going to LTX, or Linus Tech Expo. I'm super excited. It's all the way up in Canada, and I've never been to Canada, so this is gonna be a completely just new experience for me overall. I already went to CES this year, which was definitely very fun, although somewhat aggravating and a learning experience for me. But I think that this Linus Tech Expo, or LTX 2019, is going to be a much more enjoyable experience, because overall this whole LTX thing is really just like a big YouTuber convention that, you know, Linus and his team have been inviting all these YouTubers out to, and they're definitely trying to make it into, you know, a thing. And you know, so far it seems like it's somewhat successful, at least from last year. So it's not like the Fire Festival, which is good. So I decided to buy the ticket, buy the flight, buy the hotel, and I am going to Canada. And I really think, just out of the spirit of everything I learned at CES, I'm probably just gonna make some vlogs covering this, maybe a couple booth related videos of some stuff that I see there. I really don't know, but you know, I'm probably gonna make at least 2 vlogs, one for each day, if not more, but that's my goal. And I have very little expectations, which I'm just setting the bar low as far as how the trip's gonna go, what all I'm gonna see, who I'm gonna be able to meet and, you know, take some selfies with. But hopefully I'll be able to meet a couple people that I wanna see and you know, get some of those awkward selfies. Like, hey bro, I'm like the 500th person today. Hashtag fangirl. I know, I'm pathetic. I need to get a selfie with Paul, Kyle, Linus, and Tech Jesus. Those are the 4 that I have goals for. You know, I know there was something I was supposed to talk about, but I just cannot remember it. Someone kept bugging me. I just can't remember. Let's see, got the shirt, got the LTX announcement. Yeah, I think I'm good. Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump right into question number 1, and that question is from, just kidding, Liquid. Actually, I remember what it is. This is my 2-year anniversary for doing Jason Bytes Back. That was what was on the tip of my tongue. 2 full years of doing Jason Bytes Back, 24 months. So thank you to all my viewers who are watching this video right now. If you've been here since the beginning, then why are you still here? I'm crazy. But if you're new here, welcome. If you don't know already, my Jason Bytes Back series is officially sponsored by my Patreon supporters. So as always, their names will be at the end of this video. Guys, thank you for being Patreon subscribers. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, question number 1 from Remy. He said, stop picking on people. It's because my last Jason Bytes Back, I tried to trigger a bunch of people and then see if I could like lose subscribers. Anyways, he said, how is the unRaid server Zeus working? Also, have you thought about doing a tutorial on unRaid setup, or at least how you set up the Plex cache drive to be separate from the main pool? Thanks always. Well, Remy, actually, you know, Zeus is working really good. It's just not as powerful as I'd wish it to be. Secretly, I want to like drop a bunch of money and build like a new Ryzen Threadripper build with maybe a P2000 or a P4000, but that has a lot to do with just the cost and necessity. So what I have right now actually works way better than what I need it to. It doesn't have hardware accelerated transcoding. It has no GPU. I had to move my DVR, which was running on unRaid, to a dedicated machine because my Blue Iris DVR outgrew the virtual machine that I had it installed with because it had no GPU. So for just the basis of Plex, it works great. I do want to build like a dedicated system to run everything and be able to virtualize a machine for Blue Iris and have everything run with one box. That way I don't have to run two boxes to do two different things. But overall, it's doing pretty good. As far as the video for the Plex cache and the separate from the main pool, that is with a plugin called Unassigned Devices. This is actually a necessity for my build because, as you said, I got Plex and other things separated from the main pool drive. So using the Unassigned Devices allows me to use a dedicated SSD just for Plex metadata, which, funny enough, I'm actually having some issues with the SSD, probably. That's another story. And then I have a dedicated drive for something like virtual machines. So I can have different SSDs all attached and just running separately. I recommend you checking out Unassigned Devices. It is actually very easy to use. I think even Space Invader made a video covering it. Either way, it's probably not a half bad idea to cover or make a video covering the setup that I use that specifically separated those SSDs from my main pool. But there's your answer. Maybe a video in the future. Next question is from Robert Schrader. For your monthly recap, how many subscribers do you figure you actually lost because of showing the gun? I actually looked that up and I wanted to follow it up and I wanted to touch base on this video, and it was perfect that you asked this question. Anyways, 20. I lost 20 subscribers. Weeding them out. Just, you know, go cry in the corner. Next one is from Husky CDN. What, no Google Home Assistant love? No, I've decided that, you know, activating people's home automation systems, and I mean, that's just a really rude and immature thing to do. So I think moving forward with my channel, I want to take the high road and just grow a little bit as a person and not do immature things like that, because I think it labels me as a troll and I don't really want to do that. So, and on that note, hey Google, call mom. Next one up is from Kevin. How is Watchtower working for you? Have you had any problems with any of your containers updating? Just curious. I've yet to have any real problem with my setup. Dell R710 running ESXi with a Debian VM running Docker. Well, actually, Watchtower started, I think, and this is not confirmed, however, somewhat confirmed. For me, Watchtower started filling up my Docker storage capacity. I kept getting these warnings like, oh, you're at 40 and 50, and just kept creeping up 1% like every day. And I had no idea what it was. I went in there and increased the Docker size to stop the warnings, but for some reason it just kept filling up and I have no idea why. I've never had this problem before. I used Watchtower. When I started using Watchtower, it started filling that up. And I actually had someone else on Discord that was also using Watchtower that experienced the exact same thing as I did. So when I turned off Watchtower, it actually stopped creeping up my storage utilized space and it just kind of leveled out. So I don't want to turn it back on. As far as I know, I think it's probably downloading some update files and not clearing them like they should. I don't really know. It was one of those like, install, cool, this is working. Oh, it's starting on fire, and throw some water on it and be like, I'll deal with that later. Can't confirm nor deny that Watchtower was the reason, but I turned it off and now it's not doing it anymore. So that's all I got. And for those of you who don't know what Watchtower is, it is an add-on for unRaid that helps keep things updated automatically. Next question is from Andrew. Have you ever thought of making your pfSense box a virtual machine on Zeus instead? Yes, Andrew, I have thought about it, but I will never, ever, ever do that. While it is true that you can install pfSense on a virtual machine and you can get it configured, or you could probably even run dedicated NICs to that virtual machine, I just don't want to do it. I really don't. I don't like putting all of my eggs in one basket. See, I look at things like unRaid has to be updated every so often. I try to update unRaid maybe a little bit more often than my pfSense. Now, okay, pfSense last time I updated it was 272 days on the old update, so that's really bad. But I try to update unRaid at least twice a year, maybe more. God, I sound so horrible at updating right now. It comes down to this. If I update or do anything with unRaid, or I'm doing anything that brings it down, that also brings down my router. So I don't like that. I like having a separate machine for the router, just a dedicated box, everything by itself, and not having to rely on a virtual machine. You can do it. It's probably very easy, and it would work probably really beautifully, but I just don't want to do it, and I probably never will, unless I'm running some kind of a test environment of some sort. Now, Pi-hole, on the other hand, that's something I've been meaning to do. I just haven't done it yet. Next question is from Aaron. There's actually a script that can do this automatically. It ranks each duplicate by resolution, file type, and bitrate, so it keeps the best version. Then he linked to GitHub. Now, this is in response to my How to Save Space on Plex video, where I talk about finding and removing duplicates on your Plex media server. And I wanted to use this question specifically because something that I ran into when going and searching through duplicates is you never know when you're going to have duplicates that you actually want to keep. So using an automated script, depending on your situation, might actually backfire on you. Let's just use for an example, let's say you have a version of a movie, maybe it's from whatever date, 80s or something, and then you have a new remastered version of that movie. So do you want to delete the old one? Do you want to only keep one or the other? Might not. Maybe you want to go back and relive, the movie in its truest artistic form and see exactly how it was shot and originally displayed. Or maybe you're feeling like watching the newer version of it with the higher resolution and the better colors or whatever they do to remaster it. The point is, if you got the space and you want to keep both of them just in case you want to watch either one, you don't want a script that's going to automatically go through and delete things. Also, some people have duplicates on purpose. They might have, an SD version or a smaller version of a file, and then let's say a 1080 or a 4K file. That way, Plex will automatically choose the most suitable video file to pull from depending on what device is watching that video. So some people might automatically have a need for duplicates, whereas some might not. Really to each their own, but hey, if this script works for you and you're good just, throwing a little bit of automation in there, maybe it's a good option. Next question is from First Name. Why do you still include Plex links if you switch to a different platform? I included this because one, I know you're trolling me because I trolled you. I get that, it's funny, but I wanted to bring that up because I think that if anyone watches that video that knows anything about me, they know it was a joke. And if they watch it all the way to the end, they know it was an April Fool's joke because I was sitting in my underwear and I made it very obvious. So if you guys haven't seen that, I'll try to link it in the cards above or possibly at the end of this video. But I try to go full soap opera acting and it failed miserably. I'm not an actor, I'm barely even a YouTuber. Next question is from David. What do you mean with a third pin? Do you have a video on that? This is in relation to my shucking video, which I don't, okay. This is in relation to my shucking video where I briefly talked about the third pin disable that you have to do on shucked hard drives, or at least on most shucked hard drives. And I want to make a video about it. I won't do it yet because I'm using all the ones I have, but next time I buy a hard drive just to shuck, I promise you I will make a video on it. That is my personal guarantee. I will make a video. Unless it doesn't need the third pin, then I won't make a video. The whole third pin thing, nothing new. You can definitely find other videos on YouTube about it. But what I recommend, there are different options, one of which is cutting the third pin, which completely voids your warranty, so don't do that. A lot of people use tape because they could take it off if they ever have to submit a warranty claim. And yes, for those of you like, oh, you lose your warranty if you shuck your drive. No, at least here in the United States, you still get a 2-year warranty on your drive even if you shucked it, unless you actually damaged the drive, which would be removing the third pin. The third pin is pretty much like an activator voltage thing that makes the hard drive go into a loop, which makes it unusable because it's always rebooting itself. So you have to disable that depending on what backplate or static power cable you are using, which actually touches base. You could use a Molex to SATA adapter and that automatically gets rid of the third pin. Either way, I can make a video about it. There's a bunch of different ways. Some of them are way better options than others. I would just recommend in the meantime, if you really need to, get one of these shuck drives to work in computer, just, YouTube it because there's probably plenty of videos out there. Way better probably than mine, so. Next video is from Tom. Did you find the perfect Plex client yet? NVIDIA Shield versus NUC with Plex embedded OS. Tom, this is actually a complicated question. Basically, I've been on the search for a perfect Plex client, something that I am just completely and utterly satisfied with in every possible way, and I still use my Xbox. But the Xbox UI has gotten so terrible for me, and I get so frustrated with it that I don't even want to watch TV on it anymore. You know, like if you're with the Xbox, if you're watching a TV show or a movie and then you exit out, like you stop it, then sometimes like it'll get lost and you can't select anything. You have to like force close the app or wait like a minute or 2 minutes before it like starts working again. I can't explain it, and it's just the most annoying thing ever. And they have completely ruined the Xbox UI and the interface and everything. So I need to find another one. And throughout all of my testing, I've had the best experience with the NVIDIA Shields. I've always returned them because I bought them just for the video and then I returned them to get my money back, but I've always liked the NVIDIA Shields. They've been great devices overall. So I've been thinking about getting an NVIDIA Shield, using it as my primary driver, but the nerd in me just says, Jason, if you're gonna do that, you need to build like a dedicated HTPC. I've been wanting to do and build a dedicated HTPC for a while. I just haven't done it because reasons, mainly just spending money on something that I use occasionally or at the moment, you know. I think though my perfect Plex client, if it's not going to be an NVIDIA Shield, which to me is kind of like an easy out, it's going to be an HTPC build. Whatever those specs are, I'm pretty sure that I want to run Kodi. That's Kodi. And with Kodi, install the Plex add-on to where it automatically boots into Plex. And here's why. In my experience with Kodi versus like the Plex embedded OS, Kodi actually has a little bit better interface and support for remotes, at least in my limited experience. And also, even if it directly boots to Plex from Kodi, you can back out of Kodi. And there's other plugins that you can explore or utilize with Kodi for other, you know, HTPC related stuff, things like YouTube and things like that. And for me, things like the Fire TV or just other, you know, little self-contained media players, the things that allure me to those are the multi-purposelessness of them. You know, being able to go into YouTube, being able to go into Plex and be able to, you know, go back and forth. So having Kodi with different plugins for whatever different options that I want, I think is going to be my perfect client if I can get my Xbox One remote to work with it or something similar, because I am in love with that remote. So just gotta do it. I haven't done it yet. Next question is from Elliot. Say penetrate again. Penetrate. Penetrate. Next. Fat Loots 82, I'm halfway through the video, so don't know if you figured it out yet, but I need to add liquid metal to the cool plate of the all-in-one as well before reattaching it. That's your only issue. Well, Fat Loots 82, during the whole saga of me trying to liquid cool my computer, I did all kinds of things. I did more liquid metal, less liquid metal on the CPU and the all-in-one, only on the all-in-one, only on the CPU. I did all kinds of variations. I took that thing apart more time than I would like to admit, and that's because I was stubborn and I wanted liquid metal to work, and I ended up giving up on it if I remember right. I think I just went with regular thermal paste because it worked like, oh no, I delidded it, never mind. I think I delidded it with liquid, God, it's been so long. I tried all kinds of things to get the IHS to work with everything, but in the end, it was just better for me to delid the thing and have a direct die mounted cooler. Whether I use liquid metal or thermal paste, to be debated because I don't remember. But either way, bypass the IHS altogether. It's just hands down a winner. Next question is from nope, that's the first question. Well, that's it for all of the questions today. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to have the best possibility of your questions being answered next month, leave them down below. I always check the last month's Jason's Bytes Back video first before I move on to the regular pool of comments and questions from other people. So always this video first, post them down below. Of course, at the end of this video, I'm going to showcase all of my awesome Patreon subscribers. Guys, thank you very much for being Patreon subscribers. I appreciate you. Thank you, and thank you to everyone else. And thank you. Just thank you all the thanks. You get a think. You get a think. You get a think. So like, comment, and subscribe down below. Have yourself a nice day. I got this new vacuum. And this is the mop for it. It comes with a mop. That is crazy. A little robot vacuum comes with a mop. You know, I tried out one robot vacuum and I don't want to turn into a channel that like is testing out all the robot vacuums out there because there are a ton. Just like, you know, security cameras. There are a ton of cheap ones out there and different ones. But curiosity killed the cat, right? You know, a couple people emailed me, I tried them out. This one has a mop, it came with it, so that's new, that's interesting. And I'm actually working on that video right now. So I think it's probably gonna be my last one, unless iRobot reaches out and says, hey, here's an i7, or whatever that super $1,000 robot is. Then I'll be like, okay, I'll do that. We'll do that. But this new one's actually way better than the old one. It's $100 more, but it seems to not get stuck as much. In fact, I've only had it stuck once, and that was just happened to be the time I let it do its thing by itself. Scheduled it at 10 a.m. and at like 10:40 it got stuck underneath the fridge, or at least in the corner of the fridge. Tried to go underneath the fridge and got stuck. So I don't know, interesting. Half the videos I make, it's just like, is that new to me? Is that somewhat interesting? Squirrel, let's take it out.